We've had the quarterfinals of the women's game, the first knockout rounds of the women's side of the draw in the Olympic Games. Paris 2024, 4 matches, 8 teams, 4 places in the semi-finals. Let's go through what happened in this. So, we'll go in the order that these games were played. I feel like that's probably the easiest way to do it, to be honest. First of all, we had the USA against Japan. The USA, obviously, probably the favourites for the tournament, historically the most successful women's team in the world, doing very well in the group stage, winning all their games, I believe in that. Japan, though, as well, doing very well in theirs, and I predicted that it was going to be a relatively close game, this one, and so it proved to be, as it took until extra time for the one and only goal to be scored in this one. Rodman scoring after the 105th minute in this game, the second minute of added on time in the first half of extra time. In truth, USA were definitely the better team in this one. Japan absolutely gave it their best, and when they went behind for the second half of extra time, they absolutely went for it. Unfortunately, could not find an answer though. The USA are through to the final 4. Next up, we have Spain against Colombia. Now, I did think that Spain were going to win this one relatively comfortably, but Colombia, though, they're not to be underestimated either. Although, that being said, they only managed to finish 3rd in the group. But I tell you what, they absolutely gave an amazing account of themselves in this one, and they could have and should have won this one in truth. I mean, let's be real here. Spain absolutely battered them for the most part, but Colombia took their few chances when they had them. Ramirez scoring against the run of play after 12 minutes, and then Santos making it 2-0 to the Colombians after 52 minutes. Hermoso, who I think is the one who recently won the Ballon d'Or, the female Ballon d'Or. She managed to get one back for Spain and give them some sort of hope with just 10 minutes remaining, and it's up until the 7th minute of injury time. We've seen such long periods of added on time during this tournament for both the men and the women, and it was another one of those here today in the game between Spain and Colombia. A 97th minute equaliser. They played extra time after that, and Spain won on penalties 4-2. Heartbreaking and so harsh on Colombia, but really they should have won that. They've only got themselves to blame there, I'm afraid, but they are heading home, unfortunately. Next up, Canada against Germany. Now, again, I think I backed Germany to win this one. I did say it was going to be relatively close. It was an extremely cagey game in the early stages, but Germany eventually coming out really and swinging, to be honest with you, in the latter part of the first half. The second half, Canada were probably the better side in this one, but it was 0-0 after full time. And it was also 0-0 after full time in extra time too, on top of that. I mean, it went to extra time, Canada probably being the better side of that extra time period. Germany definitely having periods, particularly in the second half of extra time, where they were dominant, but it was 0-0 after extra time there, and Germany ran out. They won the penalty. Of course, Germany win penalties. Same with the men, same with the women. Doesn't matter. They're very good at penalties. They win 4-2. And with the greatest of respect to Canada, I think it would have been very, very controversial if they won this one. Of course, do check out my Canada soccer scandal video if you've not already watched it. And that is the only time I will use the S word during this video. Not going to happen another time. But yes, Germany go marching on to the semi-finals. Next up, the final game of these 4, France the host against Brazil. Brazil without Marta, of course, in this one. That was potentially going to be crucial. I thought it could have been the deciding factor to let France go through, but it did not prove to be that way at all. France having most of the chances, just like they did against Argentina, but they could not. That was the men. What am I talking about? But yeah, they failed to really convert in this one. Didn't score a single goal. They actually missed the penalty in the first half too. Again, only themselves to blame, and Portillo managed to get the goal for Brazil 82 minutes in. Brazil holding on in the latter stages. I tell you what, there was some horrific fouls coming in for the Brazilians. I don't know how they ended up with 11 women on the pitch at the end of that, but they did somehow do it. They go through to the final 4. So it is the USA, Spain, Germany and Brazil, all footballing powerhouses into the semi-finals. I will be giving my predictions for those games at another time, probably tomorrow, something like that. Those games will be played on, I think, Tuesday off the top of my head, but I will confirm that when I go through my semi-final predictions, where I'll also let you know who I think is going to go home with the gold, the silver and the bronze medal. But yeah, for much more footballing news, reviews and reactions, do keep it tuned right here to thefootballchronicle.com.